Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket on another episode of Your Turn and another week where there really isn't much. But there was a couple weird leaks and which led to rumors, and I actually think these are kind of interesting. These are some interesting ones that come up.
Some seem pretty legit.
Yeah, there's stuff that seems very legitimate. There's stuff that seems very believable, even though there isn't any evidence on them yet to kind of prove it. And then we'll just kind of give our opinions on a couple of them. So let's go ahead and start off with like the Pokemon ones. So basically some people are doing some data mining on like just the updates and stuff like that. And they found a couple of things that kind of suggest there's DLC, which for all of us, we kind of expected, right?
Yeah.
In fact, there was kind of like a hint at DLC since like near the end. Spoiler warning. Oh well. Basically, there is a Pokemon that's responsible for terrestrializing, which we've kind of had that type of theme anyway. Having a Pokemon that's somehow responsible for the gimmick that's introduced in that generation.
Yeah.
From Z moves to Mega Evolutions to Gigantamaxing to now, right? But we never see it in the game. So that obviously tells us we're going to see it. And it's going to be in DLC, and there's another door that's clearly blocked off, and they kind of say, oh, I guess it's not open yet. Wink, wink, basically near the end of the game.
Okay.
Anybody who's played the game kind of already understands what door I'm talking about. We already know DLC's coming, but there's several things that kind of hint at DLC being somehow related to a quote-unquote third academy. So there's two academies based on the version of your Pokemon, which is like orange and grape, and supposedly there's an apple academy that they want to do.
Almost like there's three houses.
Gasp. But so that kind of makes sense. There's actually a couple of things that kind of hint at it because Pokemon's been having a habit of that. There's a bunch of apples, kind of like there's an apple hanging out on the desk of the dean or principal, depending on what you want to talk about on that. There's one of the leading aces that one of the Elite Four uses is a Flapple. So it's a Pokemon Apple Dragon.
Oh, okay.
So, and then there's a quiz just before the Elite Four that talk about, hey, which academy do you go to? And it lists, the orange and the orange and the grape academies, and then they also have Naranja Academy, which is Spanish for apple.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of hints that there's going to be an Apple Academy, which again, this sounds believable.
Although, what is Shield and Swords, Isle of Armor?
Isle of Armor and the Frozen Tundra.
So there's two?
Yes.
Okay.
There's two parts to the DLC. Yes.
Okay.
Isle of Armor was probably the cooler part.
Okay.
The Frozen Tundra had the Galarian, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of the Frozen Tundra too much. There wasn't as much. People were excited about it being able to catch more legendaries and stuff, but wasn't much of a fan. There is other rumors too where this Apple Academy is located, which is when you look at the map, there's a top right corner that's all quote-unquote grayed out, and you can't really go that direction. You literally even hit invisible walls too. Like, not even just like hidden by some tall wall, like gray wall thing, which they do, like some really large cliffs you can't climb, but you also hit a couple invisible walls as well doing it.
Okay.
So
they just mined the shit out of this, or?
Yes. So that's basically what all this points to, right? Like, there's obvious DLC. It's probably involving an Apple-based academy. There's a closed door that kind of nudges, nudge, wink, wink. And then there's that big grayed-out area in the upper right corner of the map. And it's, like, clear. It's, like, a clear, like, it's cut off and it has little weird stripies. Like, it's intentionally kind of deleted. Quote-unquote deleted,
Gotcha.
And so there's that, right? Now, here's where the fun rumors start. So supposedly, we are not getting a remake. Or we are getting a remake, but not really. So supposedly, one of these major DLC points is the X and Y remakes, or supposed remakes that we're supposed to get, is actually attached to the Paldea region, since Spain and France are actually pretty close together themselves too.
Yeah.
And they're saying that the other academy is actually attached and connected to that, and that's where the academy is in the remake. And it's not as big or a big central point for them or not. It's actually like just kind of like a side thing, and the rest of it's just a traditional remake of the Kalos region, the X and Y game. And they're saying, and there's a split on this rumor.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it's either an expansion, and we're not getting a true remake.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting like just the whole region completely redone, and
Yeah,
getting it as an expansion instead,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to getting a remake. And then there's another split on that rumor that they're thinking it's going to be what they called an expand-alone game. So similar to how the most recent one is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Torn of the Golden Country had a game where you just basically play the DLC on of its own. And there was another company that did the same thing many years back in an MMO with City of Heroes and City of Villains. They interact with one another, they have competition with one another, but people can still play one or the other by itself.
Oh, okay.
So, people are believing that Kalos is going to be overhauled for more free-range, sandbox, open-world gameplay,
Damn. Okay. If
and
that's
be
true, I'm gonna
attached
go back.
and be attached to the
Scarlet
Paldea
and
region, Scarlet and Violet, as an expansion. But nobody like this rumor is kind of like, is it going to be just a DLC and we're just never going to get a remake in that same vein, or are we going to get that and it kind of stand alone on its own?
Okay.
Because that's pretty hefty. That would be a very, very big to do.
Yeah.
And on top of that, not only would it be a very big to do, you're thinking about a game that's reaching 4 million in Japan. Is going to be I think it's the third Switch game to reach 5 million copies, and it'll be the 5th game to ever reach 5 million copies. So there's only 2 other games that have ever reached 5 million outside the Switch.
Damn.
And that's Animal Crossing, that's Mario Kart, and that's Pokemon
Okay.
so far.
Yeah.
And so when you're saying that and you're having this huge DLC that could do, imagine how much they're going to be able to pump into that, you know? So it's stuff like that. So what do you think about this whole idea? Do you think that's even believable of a rumor?
For the most part, I don't think we're gonna get a brand new. I don't think they're gonna do like X and Y remake, like give us the whole region all over again. Because that's it's too soon.
They're saying, well,
it's too soon.
No, because they've always had they always had a alternating years. The only time they didn't was with Sword and Shield, which took 2 years with the development, right, for the DLC, and then they released Diamond and Pearl the year after that, after the DLC was already done with Sword and Shield.
Okay.
But that could be excused away theoretically if the DLC is also the remake. That's where they're making consideration.
Oh, okay.
Because on top of that, the character that you get isekai'd into with Pokemon Legends Arceus is from Kalos.
Oh, okay.
Like he or she, based on what gender you are, you're wearing a Kalos shirt.
Oh, okay.
So it's already hinting that they know and they're aware, and it's always been a pattern between the two. And there's a possibility that if it's a part of the DLC, they're not waiting another year before we get that next remake because it's being added. But I think that's I think if it's aimed to be kind of like an expand-alone, like they said, it's a very feasible large DLC, because a lot of people are saying, the ones that don't believe it say it's too big of a DLC.
Yeah.
You're basically getting a whole full game.
Yeah.
Well, we are, if they're considering that this DLC is also the remake.
I mean, I could see
You know?
it happening because people who don't want the Scarlet and Violet gyms, they could go back to like standard gyms.
Yeah.
So
And like I can see that happening only if they're basically excusing not having to release a full game remake of an earlier gen.
yeah.
Like I could see that happening if that was their excuse. I was like, honestly, I believe it would be within Pokemon companies like field of view. Like I could definitely see it being an idea they've already had.
Yeah.
Now, do I believe this is happening? No.
What?
I do not. I do not believe. Like it sounds really huge, right? And I'm not saying it sounds too huge to be true. If they are literally using this as an excuse not to do a full standalone remake of a game, I can see them pulling that off, and it being connected to the Paldea region, which makes sense. You know, I can see that happening. It is a very believable situation.
Oh, okay.
It's a very believable thing because if they are technically connected, that'll be the only time that we've had something like this since Johto. We've not had a single other generation that has been like directly connected to another region.
Oh, okay.
Like in general,
Yeah.
like just in general, just the idea that literally Kalos is right fucking there is like just even the idea that that's where they connect
Okay.
is pretty cool in of itself. And in
Yeah.
fact, I believe if that is the intent, I could see a DLC confirming that.
Yeah.
But I do not see DLC being the whole remake of the next game.
Yeah.
I can see them using it as like, yeah, we are right next to Kalos. How did you not know?
Yeah.
And like
Okay.
we have Mega Evolutions in DLC or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they just go, ta-da, the remake in the next game.
Okay.
You know?
No,
I
yeah,
can
putting it that way, yeah, I do
I can
see
see that.
Okay.
Right? I can see that more likely with the DLC kind of like, basically, I see DLC, for the first DLC, part of the DLC, I can see it being the addressing of who makes the terrestrialization.
Okay.
So going back to the crater and kind of exploring the other door and kind of figuring out all this, and we'll probably see some more paradox forms, a boatload more paradox forms. We'll probably see some more Paldean forms, and we'll probably see like actually like I can even say that we'll probably go back in time on the overworld section in
Really?
that aspect. Not, I won't say that it's like actively the overworld. I think it'll be instanced. You know, like you walk in and it's like, this is where this area of this one area in Paldea was thousands of years ago or thousands of years into the future.
Oh, okay.
And that's what that area is going to look like into the future or into the past. But it's only going to be like a small segment of what it is.
Yeah, okay.
I do not say it's gonna. I do not think it's gonna overhaul and give us the whole game. Again, it's the same thing that with the rumor. It seems too big to just be a DLC.
Yeah.
Like I could see just like an area which, let's say, one of the closer towns are. Like this town looks like this into the future, and this town looks like this into the past. But nobody's really here anymore because obviously nobody exists in the past, and we all moved on from the future. This is where all the paradox forms of Pokemon live now. I can see that.
Oh, okay.
That's more believable. I see that's the first part, and then the second part's going to cover that weird corner on the side. And if they have any connection to Kalos, I could say, hey, yeah, did you know we are right next to Kalos? And then instead of introducing a shit ton of legendaries or something, it's, oh, these other Pokemon can also Mega Evolve for some reason. Because
Okay.
we're right next to the region that does Mega Evolutions.
Yeah.
So they'll probably tie Zygarde into it. And just like this small little section that kind of connects the two is our DLC, and then the next game is the remake of X and Y.
What if we
That's
get
that's my theory.
what if we get tronified mega versions? Yeah, right.
The what?
Well, what's the form in
Oh, terrestrialized?
terrestrialized mega forms?
Well,
8-star raids. Yeah.
88-star raids. No, I don't know. I don't know if they would do both of them at the same time. I think they'll do like Mega Evolutions, and those who do Mega Evolutions cannot terrestrialize. But terrestrializing doesn't really do too much, honestly. Like terrestrializing literally just either amps up your existing type or it changes your type completely.
Yeah, okay.
There's no power stat boost.
Oh, okay.
There really isn't. Like, for instance, if you have a fighting type and you change him to electric to use Thunder Punch, he's gonna hit like he's an electric type instead.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And instead of being okay to ground attacks, he becomes weak to ground attacks because now he's electric. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think terrestrialization was the next best answer to Mega Evolutions in general. Namely because it adds a level of depth without messing with stats.
Yeah.
Like, it literally, like, some of the Pokemon that are out there that have ridiculous stats, but just the crappiest combos of skills, you know? What if you could just swap one of their types to a fairy type and then suddenly they're powerful? You know? Like, it makes those Pokemon more viable just because they don't have a stab move unless they were a different type.
Well, the question is, does Pokemon have anywhere else to go once it's like... Because the only thing I can see now is just they add a new type, but that's going to mess everything up.
No, they could easily do a couple things, and I think they'll probably look into stuff similar to what Z Moves was, because Z Moves was more of a focus on the move pool of a Pokemon, making weak Pokemon more powerful because of that move. I could see them messing with mechanics of certain moves that add a new layer to everything, because they already have stuff that changes the environment. Not just sunny day and rainy and all that. They now have like mist fields and electric fields and stuff like that boost other typings. They also have the terrestrialization, which changes the typing of the Pokemon almost entirely if you wish it. And they can just mess with certain moves. What if, because they already have a move that literally changes the typing if you're terrestrialized. If you're not, it's a normal, like basically a normal like half hyper beam. But if you change to a terrestrialized, it changes to the type that you just terrestrialized to. So if you are a fairy steel Pokemon, if you're like Tinkaton, right? And you change to a ghost type, the Terra Blast or whatever becomes a ghost type attack.
Oh, okay.
So they already have moves like that. They also have moves like Metronome. They also have moves like Sketch and Copy or Copycat, which changes basically based on the move, based on the environment of how that move is being used.
Okay.
Sketch copies people's abilities. So basically they just could have any ability, kind of like Mew. But only a few Pokemon have Sketch.
Yeah.
But what if we had abilities or powers, like, moves that change the concept based on what they're doing? Like, oh, it's rainy day. Well, my grass type is now my grass type move is now a ground type move. They could do something to that point.
Oh, okay.
Where whatever's out there can change to a different typing based on the environment that it's in. And I'm not talking about just the like field energy levels and stuff like that. Like, what if the person's asleep? There's moves that can only happen and work during a sleep. What if there's moves that can wake your character up, but that move is entirely based on the like type of your character. So if it's a normal type, it uses what a stronger type character that it's weak against, like fighting or something like that. I can see them doing something to that point.
Oh, okay.
Because there's levels of appeal of what Pokemon can do. The thing is, what's a good hook for them to do it again?
Yeah.
Which, like, honestly, I don't know. Like, they've kept twin battles. What if the remake, of X and Y just brings back Mega Evolutions again? Because people have been clamoring for that for a while.
Yeah.
They could easily just lean back into it, but what happens to Gen? Well, let's humor the idea that people are saying that Gen 10 is in Australia, or inspired by Australia. What if some of the moves are based off of like certain ways to counter like speed, like stat boosting moves and stuff like that. Like we have stuff that counters like actual attack moves. What if there's ways to like use abilities to completely reset the whole thing again? Like there's stuff like that. It'll probably be focused on the the moves themselves. And I have said the word move enough.
Well, I trust the Pokemon Company that they probably do playtest their games. So
Well, I think they playtested to make sure it works, but I don't think that if it's balanced, like there's a difference. It's the reason why there was like so many weird broken like ground flying stuff nonsense that was going on with Landorus when they first introduced them.
no, okay.
So there's stuff like that, but there's like I didn't even think about this, which would have made sense, before. If you asked me what would be the next gimmick, I was like, this was probably going to be more of a like Dragon Ball Z. They're going to find more ways to just boost the only cool characters and stuff like they constantly do, like Gigantamaxing. And I didn't think that they would like dial it back. They literally dialed it back. They're like, what if instead of giving you way too much power, what if we just gave you a different typing?
Okay,
I feel like they really did dial that back. When you think of it that way, like if I told you the next game, instead of giving you new forms and kind of give you power forms and stuff like that, what if I told you they're just going to change the typing of your character? You're going to be like, that sounds dumb.
No, okay.
You know what I mean? But then when they do it, you're like, oh, I guess it's kind of cool. But like a lot of
down to the gameplay level, it's really badass though, because it's like you have to rethink your team, and you have to be very specific.
Yeah, changing the typing is way better than this weird Game of Chicken that Sword and Shield had.
Yeah,
like the gigantic maxing like chicken race was like the most boring to watch.
Well, if you have like one Pokemon that you, especially if you're at a competitive level where you see one guy, you're like, damn, that guy's gonna sweep my whole team. But you think about his Gigantamax too, and you're like, shit. If he like changes his typing too, you're like, damn it. I don't know how I'm gonna tackle this, and what's my because it's technically having two extra Pokemons in your pocket.
Terrestrializing can happen on any of the Pokemon you have.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you don't just here's a ball, and you don't know which Pokemon has the terrestrialization.
But can you only do one?
You can only do one in a battle.
Okay.
So
you're gonna have to assume which one they're gonna terrestrialize.
You got to anticipate which one and then on top of that, like, what if he and what typing that's going to be?
Okay.
Like, what if he has a water fighting Pokemon and he just fucks it up and changes it to Fairy, and it's like, wait a minute, if I knock that thing out, who has Ghost over here?
Yeah.
Like you're just like, okay, so which one will actually screw me up on this side, which then just like you're playing a completely different mind game.
So if you guys don't like competitive Pokemon, check it out. It's so cool. I think the competitive seems a lot cooler.
Honestly, I think just the typing changes have really like made them interesting to watch.
Yeah.
The gigantic maxing was just the most boring thing.
Yeah.
So
watch the pros, man. It's fun as hell, I think.
But yeah, going all the way back, I don't
DLC,
think.
Right?
DLC. I don't think they'll go for a full bore remake DLC like combo thing. That would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
I would give Pokemon props for taking. I guarantee you they've thought about it. Okay, I wouldn't doubt it. But I would give them props if they did it.
Yeah.
Now, do I want that? No, I don't.
Okay.
I kind of actually still want just a classic like Pokemon feel with the remakes, and I'm glad the Pokemon remakes often give you like a more of a nostalgic experience.
Well, that's the case, then they're probably gonna give us two DLCs then, like they did with Sword and Shield.
They're probably gonna give us two parts. I think one of them's gonna be tied to the terrestrialization, and I think the other one's gonna be tied to the gray corner. But I don't know if it's gonna be attached to Kalos or not. I just make that theory because if that's the case, that would be a crazy situation to connect the two, and it'll be the first time we've seen two regions that close together again.
Okay, I'm looking up real quick. Spain is like...
Yeah, no.
Okay, no, that does make sense, actually. Because France is to the northeast of Spain.
Yeah. So it would be a very interesting way to finally, like, lore-wise, like, confirm the two together, and then like bring back Mega Evolutions in a DLC. Then people will get amped up because now you got new Mega Evolutions, and then you're gonna get ready for all the old Mega Evolutions from the remake.
Okay.
I can see that happening. That is something I can literally see.
Yeah.
But I do not see them taking a whole region and making that DLC, even though that would be their answer to the remake as well. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, instead of, oh, it's not just DLC, it's a DLC and remake rolled into one. That's way too fucking huge. I don't think they have the balls to do that. But if they do, I'd commend it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. Like, you guys are taking a way big of a bite to be going that way. But who knows? I'm just going to be glad that maybe I might be able to buy a Scarlet and Violet that's a complete version with the DLC on it. And hopefully less of the bugs. Less of the bugs in the end. That'd be great, right? Just enough of the body horror.
I don't know if they're gonna get rid of the bugs, but we'll see.
They'll probably get rid of some. They'll probably get rid of some. Not all. Just some. Just like some of the easiest ones. The ones that nobody even really does. You know, there's a way to duplicate your master Paul using a sandwich. Wait, you could do that? We got rid of that bug. Why did you do that?
Like, hey, wacky waving arms are still in. Yeah.
But now going on to other leaks. What other leaks do we have? Zelda leaks. So basically, there's some Chinese stuff that's going on, and they're posting box art of a Switch OLED for Tears of the Kingdom. Or
No, it's actual thing, actually. I think they got their stuff early.
They leaked it, I
supposedly,
think.
but...
So here's what I think it is. I think, since all the pictures are the box, I think the person is somehow connected to the production of the boxes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And they took one of those home and took pictures of it.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
You know, that's mass produced and all that. They could probably sneak one away, and it's a small box in comparison.
Yeah.
You know, I've been able to sneak away promo boxes for other stuff from my older jobs. So I'm not. This is not outside of the norm.
Yeah.
But this leak, I don't think it's a rumor. It's legit. I think it's genuinely legit. It's a leak.
About, was it Johnny Cash song? I took it one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. But
no, yes. So I do think this is legit. It's a leak, not just a rumor leak or anything like that. I think it looks neat.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think it looks neat. It's not the coolest Switch out there. I still think it's the Mario one that looks the coolest.
Yeah.
Because they even changed the color of the whole Switch itself, the whole screen in the back and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, that looked cool. I missed out on it, and I hate myself for it.
Yeah, it still looks better than the Smash one. The Smash one is, like, the most generic one.
Oh, my God, dude. Like, you would think that would at least give, like, a gold stripe Smash cross on the back of it or something.
Yeah.
You know, like, it would only need to be that simple. And people are like, yeah, you know? But
yeah.
it's just a black, it's boring.
And now you just get the cross through the Joy-Cons, and that's it.
Yeah, cross over the Joy-Cons, and that's basically it.
Damn.
Even the dock doesn't have anything.
Kind of why I skipped on it.
Yeah, it wasn't exciting. The Pro controller though, was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it was way cooler than the other things. But yes, so basically for a lot of people who haven't seen it, we're probably gonna pull it up and kind of have it up there and stuff. It's going to have whites, some greens, and the Joy-Cons are going to be primarily gold, which is the first time something has been gold for Zelda related since the 3DS when they made a 3DS Majora's Mask. But, want to know what hasn't been gold for a long time? The cartridge. The game. So when they went into DVD, CD form type stuff, right?
Yeah.
Wind Waker and I think Majora's Mask was like the last one.
Yeah.
They got gold, like a little gold print on it and stuff, and it looked pretty neat and stuff. And then they started going more for color. And what was funny was a lot of people praised it. Oh, thank God, it's no more of that boring, just one color, boring, monochromatic, boring, blah blah blah. It's color. Everything has color though, like everything.
Uh-huh.
Like it made it stand out because everything else literally has color, you know. And so when they went back to cartridges, I'm like, man, imagine if the Switch, for the first time in a while, pushes a Zelda with a gold cartridge on the first print. That would be cool. That didn't happen. And Tears of the Kingdom is also not going to happen.
Wah, wah. Right.
That upsets me. Dude, not even Pokemon's done it.
Yeah,
Why
I
couldn't
know.
you
I was kinda
like
hoping
no orange and purple looking cartridges? Like,
Yeah.
this is horse shit.
Well, even Mario didn't get a red one, right?
Well, Mario never really had them though.
A red cartridge?
No, they never really had a red cartridge or anything.
No, what the hell was I thinking?
Donkey Kong had a yellow one. What was it? Pokemon Stadium 2 had a gold silver one. Madden had a blue one. Forsaken 64 had a black one. Killer Instinct had a black one. Majora's Mask had a gold one. I think Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time had a gold one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back in cartridges and everything's the same color.
Let's paint it. No.
No, that would add thickness to it. I need the actual product itself.
Just sand it down first, and then we paint it. Here.
Even Limited Run, they delayed their Meat Boy package.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I'm gonna be very pissed off if I open it and it's not like a dark red cartridge with just his Meat Boy's face on it.
Yeah.
Because he's a square. How did you not see this as a potential a potential marketing campaign?
That would be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, they give him a textured face instead of a sticker. That would
Like
be
a little
awesome.
textured, or just like a bumpy
sticker.
bumpy sticker.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But with a dark red fucking cartridge, yeah, why not?
Think outside the box, people.
Why? Why do you guys nobody's even doing we have a clear plastic case for physical media and nobody's doing inside prints of their cases?
Nope.
What is going on? It's literally just white. It is the most boring nonsense. You have clear. You can literally get people hyped to open the game oh crap, this is the environment.
I still think Kid Icarus is the best one, though. Because they
That was very
they
clever.
took advantage of the
That was very clever.
spacing. Yeah.
Well, at least Nintendo, all of Nintendo's games, every game that Nintendo has distributed or produced for anything has had an inside art. Every single one.
Oh, okay.
Nobody else has that record.
Okay.
So props to Nintendo for saying, look, it's clear. This is what we're doing. And then Activision's no. Ubisoft's what if we just put more terms of services in that? Thanks, Ubisoft. I need you to kind of harp on my nuts already for that. To you. But yeah, that's weird. But leaks. There's a lot of leaks. A lot of weird leaks this week. But there was something that was really exciting, though, at least to me, because I'm a huge platform player. I like platform games and stuff. One of the producers at SEGA has expressed, and he just randomly posted about it too, how he's actually really interested in revisiting Billy Hatcher and making a sequel.
Oh,
Billy
okay.
Hatcher and the Giant Egg was actually probably one of the funner, with bugs aside. It was buggy, but it was actually really enjoyable. Bugs aside, it was actually one of the funner 3D platforms on it.
Okay.
I think outside Nintendo's own, there was only Vex, Billy Hatcher, and there's one other one I forget the name of. It'll come back to me. That was 3D platforms that were actually really good. They were fun. They were enjoyable. I would have liked it to get ported out of that system and out of that generation. It has not ever been. Neither has Skies of Arcadia. What the hell is wrong with you, Sega? You port everything else, though.
Sega hates their fans.
Yeah, right?
Just look at Sonic. They've been giving us bad ones forever, right?
They intentionally give us bad ones. You don't want Sonic. You need to get Hatsune Miku. It's not even ours. But, no, they're the guys showing expression for a sequel. So, what do you think of that?
Cool, I guess. I don't know.
Cool, you guess.
Oh, I never played Billy Hatcher, so.
Oh, how dare you.
But, I mean, maybe we'll see a port, because, the biggest issue is that, it's on, he's serving the ball, and it's in Sega's court now, so will Sega be yeah, sure, come on back, and let's make a spiritual successor? But I don't know. I'm not holding my breath.
Sega owns it.
I know, but I'm not holding my breath, because Sega didn't say it, so I don't know.
Plot twist, it's Balin Wonder Egg.
No insider trading 2, please.
Damn it, Yugi Naka, you just had to ruin it for everyone. Now Sega's never going to have to shake that off. Ugh. But, yeah. I don't know. I honestly, I think they should just port it first.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of remaster it, get it a little tweaked up, fix some of the weird glitchy bugs. You know, some quality of life improvements on it. That's all.
Yeah.
And release it again. See how it feels. Get a vibe from it, and then see if people want it. Make a sequel.
Yeah.
You know, really amp up some of the ideas and stuff. But most people didn't really play Billy Hatcher because the port to the PS2 was way too late because people were moving on to the PS3, and the GameCube nobody really liked because people were considering it too kiddie of a system.
Yeah.
Which was the dumbest crap I have ever heard in any generation, because what was funny was when I was growing up, nobody wanted it. Everybody wanted M-rated games. M-rated games was the gauge of how cool gaming is.
Well, because everybody was getting into their teenage years, and they're like, "Oh, this is something that Nintendo is doing."
I need to buy these M-rated games with titties and blood and gore, and it's just grown-up stuff you never understand.
And now look at us. And now look at us.
And now all the people that I used to know are like clamoring to try to get themselves a GameCube game that's like $300 now. Like, how did you have these? I'm like, I bought them when they were 40. Like, and like a lot of people praise the GameCube up and down. Where did all these other M-rated games that came up that people were like touting about? Oh yeah, that aged like fine milk.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny to me now. But because of that, Billy Hatcher didn't get to go where it needed to go, and because of that, I think it would do him justice to kind of get it ported back out there. It would cost less to do that on, and then more people are more likely to pick it up. Simple as that. And I think, honestly, if they get it to the Switch, it'll probably sell the most there.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's probably going to start a Kickstarter or something until Sega says like, "Hey, you should come back." So it's going to be a Kickstarter or something.
I don't know. There's only two people who've ever done that though. Mm-hmm. Igafune and Inafune and Iga, whatever his name, Castlevania.
Oh, okay.
That was the only two people who've ever done that, like ever.
Oh, okay.
Even Yugi Naka didn't do Balan Wonderworld. Yes, it's Wonderworld. I know. But
is it Street Kevin? It's Street Kevin.
But no, it's like it's one of the things that I think is like there wasn't any other people who really did that. And it's funny that only two people have ever done it, and now it's become the default that everyone does it, which really it wasn't. The only one that really abused it was Inafune, and he was like, "I'm gonna make all of my famous spiritual successors all at the same time. Do you want Mega Man Legends 2? No. You drop dead prom queen? No. I need this game out first, and when they find out if Mighty Number 9 was actually good, then we'll do it. Release that one first." He's like, "No.
Here's another one. We did so well, yeah."
It's like we did so well. No, you didn't. The game's not even out yet. Yeah. Shut up. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. So, I think it's dumb to assume that, but him just saying it doesn't mean anything. Really. Yeah. Like, there's people who've been saying they want to do F-Zero for a while, and Nintendo's like, no. And yeah, so I don't know. I think it would behest Sega to at least port the original, see if anyone feels like it's an IP worth revisiting. And if it is, make a sequel.
Yeah.
Same thing with Skies of Arcadia. Release that son of a bitch. It's been 20 years, dude. Damn. So, yeah. That's where we have it. And as always, I like to ignore our own limits and our own rules about your turn.
That is supposed to be short, right?
Yeah. It's not short. It's not short at all. I'm sorry. We're gonna fix that one of these days. But I swear to God, I think we talked about 30 minutes on just Pokemon alone. But yeah, no. Yeah, is there anything else you wish to add to any of that?
No, other than that, it's been really slow.
It's been slow. It's it's the first year turn of the new year, so things are gonna get better from here.
So pray for news, because we're going to talk about Pokemon for the next one.
we got enough to talk about on Pokemon. We're going to probably talk about Fakemon and stuff like that too. We are now officially a Pokemon channel that's like really bad at it. So, yeah. So, I would like to thank you guys all for listening to our long rants. If you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, we will see you on the other side. Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.